just realizing more and more the key is in nature. I've told this story before, but I recently, going back a few months, did a nature retreat. Went out by myself. Went paddling down the river in a canoe and found myself a nice little spot. And for 3 days, 72 hours, I just stayed in that one spot. And all I did, had no food or water. All I did for those 3 days was just suffer. I just sat in suffering. And the beauty of that, sitting with your suffering, especially when you're in nature, is that it's like you just start shedding off these layers at super speed. Like, you know how you go through these seasons in your life, and in every season there's like this lesson. Maybe that season is a relationship or a financial change, new job or a new business. It's like these cycles. You go through these cycles. Maybe it's a health challenge. And after every one of these cycles, you gain some wisdom, you gain some knowledge, you gain some self-realization. And what I found is you can actually accelerate this evolution, this self-realization, by going out into nature, going into the wilderness by yourself and just being alone, being by yourself in nature. You see, as men, we're actually built for this. We're built to go solo sometimes, to break away from the pack, break away from the tribe, and just go and find ourselves in nature. It's typical for men, like when we get into an argument with our woman, often all we want to do is just leave. We just want to leave the house, go to the shed, go to the garage, go out with the boys, go and have a beer. It's this instinct to step away, which is actually our nature calling us to go into the wild, to reconnect with our wildness, to get away from all this BS, just all this BS that we're surrounded by, all this artificial BS, and just go with nothing. Just go with nothing but the shirt on your back and your wits, and just find your way out there in the wilderness. Last time I did this is when I really started getting hit hard with these realizations about SR. By day 2 of this 3-day experience, it's like I started back tracing all of the problems, all of the issues I was having in my life, especially my relationship. I started back tracing it to releasing. My mind automatically started to make the correlations between where I'd been messing up, where I'd been falling short, where I'd been acting as a lower version of myself, as a beta version of myself. And it was always connected with releasing, or with edging, or with obsessing over lust. It all started falling into place. Like, that's what happens when you're out by yourself and there's nothing to do. There's no distractions, there's no phone. You don't even have a journal with you. You don't even have a book to read. This is the level I'm talking about. 0 distraction. Just you v you. That's where all the downloads start to come. Especially if you're fasting. There's a reason why Christ went on his 40-day dry fast before he was anointed. before he was revealed as the Messiah. It's because that was his accelerated journey. That was his process of initiation, going out by himself. This is what we need as men for our soul to come fully awake, fully online. It's this initiation. We don't need someone else to do it for us. We don't need to have someone take us on some experience. It's good to have older men to guide us and show us the way, but there comes a point where the initiation has to come from within. You have to be led by the Spirit into the wilderness. That's what it says in the Bible. Christ was led by the Spirit into the wilderness for 40 days of fasting to be tested by the adversary. You know what I realized the other day? You know the word testosterone? You already know what I'm going to say. Testosterone. When you are tested and you succeed, you pass the test, your testosterone is raised. That's because as men, we thrive off challenge. We thrive off adversity. We thrive off being pushed to the limit of our sanity, of our survival, of our wherewithal. We thrive when we are challenged, when we are broken down, so that we can build ourselves back up. This raises testosterone. And if you're like one of these guys trying to biohack and test max and do all this maxing, retard maxing, shout out, love good retard max, then you need to do away with all this like ephemeral BS, this surface level BS stuff that you're doing to try and boost your test. And you just need to get the fuck out into nature, into the wild. You need to get as far into the wild, as far deep into those woods as you can possibly get. To the point where you feel scared for your life. That's what I'm talking about. You need to get out there where you are scared for your life. Where if something goes wrong, you could die. Do away with all this safety BS that you've been indoctrinated with. Oh, it's got to be safe. You got to have safety, safety, safety. Now, I'm not encouraging you to be reckless with your life, but what I'm saying is you need to put yourself in those scary places. You need to go there and face them. And one of the best ways to do that is out in the wild by yourself, where you actually have to fully rely on yourself. You can't just whip out the phone and call for someone to come and rescue you. This is where you really, really learn who you are. This is where you learn to rely on the Father, on God, on the Spirit, rather than on the structures and the systems of man that you've been programmed to depend on, like a little baby with its mouth on a tit, just always sucking on that tit. You got to take that tit out of your mouth and get out there and discover yourself as a man. Build that test. Build that testosterone by going through the test. How long can you survive out there? A day? 2? 3? This is what I'm talking about. You know, I kind of get bored of all this SR stuff and all this masculinity stuff after a while, because it's all based on this premise that we're here in this Western civilization where we don't really have survival challenges. Like, we don't really have survival challenges here. But that's what we need. That's what we need to awaken that masculinity, that survivor. that killer, that hunter instinct. We've got to bring that back online. We've got to remove ourselves from this safety blanket. Look at nature, man. It's so beautiful. That's everything you want right there. You know, you can take if you really have to take something just to occupy your mind a little bit, just to give yourself that little bit of morale, that little morale boost, then take something to make a fire. Take a box of matches or a lighter, but nothing else. Don't take any like fire lighters or any of that gay shit. Don't take any bug repellent or any of that stuff. Just go with your little box of matches, with your little lighter, and just go. You've got the secret of civilization with you. You've got fire. That's all you need. If you really need water, you'll find it out there. You'll lick it off the leaves. Just drink that dew, bro. Drink that dew. But for real, man, this is what we need. Like just cut all the conversation about masculinity and maxing our testosterone and like women and everything. Like, let's just cut all this BS and just get out there. You go out there by yourself for 3 days, take nothing with you but a rucksack, something to sleep on, no food. Take your little lighter, and you come back to me, and then let's talk. We won't have much to say. We'll just be looking at each other with this knowing look, because I'll just see that raw masculinity that's awakened within you, and there won't need to be any words. If you want to be around more of this energy where we are challenging each other, where we are actually pushing each other to the limit, that's what we're starting to do in the community, in the group now. We're starting to give each other outrageous challenges. We're starting to boost that test in each other. We're starting to identify each other's weak spots and to push them, to poke them. That's what masculinity thrives off. Finding those weak spots and just sticking your finger in it, twisting that finger. This is what awakens that warrior, that beast, that hunter, that killer instinct. When the back's up against the wall, when we're vulnerable, and we have to make shit happen. That's what we're facilitating in the group. It's none of this like babying mama's tit in your mouth kind of stuff. It's like, let's challenge each other. I challenge you to go out into the wilderness this weekend for 24 hours and take nothing with you. Report back to me when you're back home. That's the shit we need, brothers. So if you want to be a part of that, jump in the community. The link is below. I'll see you inside.